Hello everybody, it's Cape Rugby TV, and as you know, it's we bring it to you every Wednesday night from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then it repeats on Saturday from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. And then incidentally, if you're a late night viewer and you miss both shows, then you can catch a repeat early mornings on a Monday morning from 3 a.m. in the morning until 4 a.m. One of the best times to watch TV, all quiet, nobody around, or you may be at work and you're waiting for the phone calls to come in if you're on the late night service. Anyway, we take a look this weekend at the logs, results and the fixtures in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. It's, as we said before, it's on the business end of things, but clearly getting close to the end of the business end of things. On the show with me this evening, just one esteemed guest, Mr. Danny Jones, General Manager of, or Head of Amateur Rugby at Western Province Rugby. Hello, Mr. Jones.
Hello JP, hello viewers. It's good to be back, I must say. It's nice sitting in your new studios. It's looking quite good. Yeah, we haven't had you here for a while. We've been all these results and statistics, and there's been a lot of events and things. So it's nice to have you back in the hot seat, so to speak. No, it's not a hot seat, JP. It's a good seat to be in, but whatever comes, we live with and we engage with.
All right.
But it's good to be back, and I'm happy to engage with you around Western Province Rugby.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're gonna take tonight a look at of course, it was the emerging team that was announced over the weekend, or at least not announced, but the handover. That was quite nice. Best Med, of course, as you know, we take a look at our weekly Best Med feature. This week we're going to feature Johnny Kotze. He plays for the Currie Cup side and 1 or 2 games for the Stormers, and he's come through the ranks of Western Province Rugby and played for the Western Province Rugby Academy side. We'll find out from Johnny Kotze a little bit later in the show what his feeling was of the Best Med School of Excellence. We'll, of course, also, we announced last week our Hisense 55-inch smart TV winner. And tonight we'll show you some of the footage from the collection. Romero, who won the prize, came through the very next day, didn't waste any time to come and collect his 55-inch smart TV. It's a massive thing. I tried to pick it up and to show you what it looks like, but didn't quite manage that. But I think you'll get an idea a little bit later in the show. As you can see, Score is behind me right now. You'll be able to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. All you need to do is keep your cell phones handy, and you can put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks. And remember, Score is, of course, the official sponsor to the Western Province Sevens tournament that starts on the 8th of October. We'll talk to Mr. Danny Jones about that a little bit later, and we'll also take a look at the rest of the results, logs and fixtures, and catch up with Munib Levy, one of the board members from Western Province Rugby, as he was out on the side of the field at one of the club games, as they should be, and we get his feelings on the world of club rugby. Let's first check out now the emerging team handover. It was on Friday night, just after the Currie Cup. Let's get a taste of that first.
Jono van der Walt. The manager is Sergeant Major Dion Isaacs. I like what to say. Again, that's about salute that I'm Gentlemen, I'm handing this team over to you, not with a request but an instruction, to go out there and make something proud and to win the competition. It's good for the Western Province to win wherever they go. I have a very good coach, and I know that you will deliver. I have a good manager in Dion. I trust that you will do well.
Ek wil net vanaand noem, ek dink nie, ek wil spesifiek by die span praat of die spelers. Ek dink nie, julle weet hoe ontsettend belangrik julle rol is nie. Ek is baie in die gemeenskap. Weet jy, as ek nou sê ek was saam met julle, dan sê hulle, maar kan nie wees, het julle hand geskit, het julle nou gevat, het hulle drukkie vir jou gegee. Die mense daar buite sien julle as fantastiese rolmodelle. En ek wil vir julle geluk wens. Julle doen dit met styl en met waardigheid. En ek wil vir julle sê, gaan uit en wees die helde wat die gemeenskap julle voorsien. En geniet elke oomblik. Dit is wonderlik om 'n sportman te wees. En dit is wonderlik om 'n positiewe boodskap uit te dra. Geniet dit. Dankie.
wil namens almal sê baie dankie sê vir die geleentheid wat ons gekry het om volgende week die Blue and White hoops te gaan dra en ons hoop ons maak julle trots. Baie dankie.
And also a special word of thanks to Mr. Jerome Parwater, who assisted in the molding of this team and the preparation of this team. Jerome, thank you very, very much. And thank you guys. We wish you well.
Well, there you go, folks, the emerging team and Mr. Jones. I must say that I was there on the Friday night just after the game, and it was fantastic to see the Minister of Sport there as well, Arno Marais, who was there obviously as a guest of Western Province Rugby. But so a big honour being bestowed upon these club players.
Yes, JP, we're proud of them, and we were extremely chuffed with the capping ceremony and also having the minister there.
Yeah.
I must compliment Jerome and the work that he has done with club players, with our program Club to Vodacom, and improving the quality of club players. And his program has produced that team. And I must also compliment the clubs from where they come for the work that they put into those players. That's one of the reasons why Western Province is one of the top unions in the country, and we believe that that team will certainly do well at the tournament. It's quite. We got the first result. They played Border and they beat Border 69-3.
Let's hold it there quickly. Let me show you the team. We got those results 69-3. Let's bring that slide up there, guys. This is, of course, the DHL Western Province Rugby emerging side. Playing in the front row, so a fantastic little graphic that the boys put together here. Front row, Steve Robertson. At hooker, George Fritz, Wayron Losper also in the front row. And then the locks, Brandon Grant and Iber van der Merwe. On the flanks, Dale Wilson and Conway Pretorius. And, of course, the captain, Ryan Olivier, who we know from False Bay. I think he's otherwise known as Fleis. Dylan Freilich playing at number 9. Number 10, Andre Klaassen. At 12, Dion Talliard. And 13 is Harlan Klaassen. 11 is Ramiz Osman. And, of course, at 14 on the wings, Jason Krill. And number 15, Mushtaqeen Japi. Win there then for Western Province, 69 points to 3 over Border. Looking at this team, and I'm going to get into this we're going to carry on with what you're telling us a little bit about some of these guys and Jerome's work and that. But the thing that excites me the most about this is that from a Cape Rugby perspective, we've been following the clubs now for 5-6 years with the TV and the cameras and so on. And when we did that handover on the night and the players started walking out, these are all the guys that we filmed over the last few years who 5 years ago, 6 years ago, were still getting things going and weren't at the level that they were now. They weren't at the level there. So you talk about Jerome bringing the guys through the ranks. We actually managed to watch them grow through the ranks. And a number of these guys were, of course, our man of the matches. So it's so thrilling from a Cape Rugby perspective to see these guys, to have watched them almost grow up.
Well, that's true, JP. We're also proud of them. Rugby is not an event, it's a process. In the sense that you're not just going to arrive one day. There's a lot of work that goes into you over a number of years, and then obviously at a particular point in time it all comes together. So there's a lot of work that has gone in from the club coaches, and we want to compliment the club coaches from the high performance component in Jerome, the teams themselves in the clubs where they play, and then the players with potential and quality and hard work. Those who put in the long hours while we're sleeping, and those who go to gym, they have definitely reaped the rewards. The good thing about this team is that when they go to the Amateur South competition, and if we should win there, we'll play against the Amateur North and the Amateur Central. Yeah. Is that they get on a national stage, and who knows, some of them are taken up with the professional component with the unions like the Pumas. You talk about the Griffins. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there are opportunities for them too at a higher level. You talk about that higher level, but and that's thrilling for the guys. And I was looking at some of the social media posts, and I'm sure they've. I mean, it's a pity that you kind of
out of this, maybe something SA Rugby should start thinking about is that out of this, the club players, that they sort of form a national dream team, that you can wear call it a Springbok amateur rugby jersey, because over the last few days I was watching the social media posts and how excited these guys were who are normally just playing club rugby, and this time they were wearing the province jersey, and they were wearing their province tracksuits, and they were walking around with their province tog bags. The thrill for these, call it kids, I know they're not kids anymore, but the thrill for these young guys who are playing in the amateur squad is just incredible.
No, definitely. You mentioned the thing there. I remember a few years ago, JP, SA Rugby used to have an amateur team that played somewhere in a CAF competition, somewhere in Africa against probably Zimbabwe and Uganda and that. And I think now that you mentioned that, we will from Western Province side inquire on what is the possibility, because not everyone is going to be a professional rugby player, but we need to incentivize the players at the club.
All right, let me just, you don't have to acquire, let me just do SA Rugby, if you are watching now, what is the possibility of us getting an amateur national side to go and play against other countries' amateur sides? Is that a good enough announcement for you?
Thank you, JP. Now I'm not sure if it's going to work, but you never know. You let the cat out of the bag there.
We let the cat out. Look, we're on TV now, so I'm sorry, all cats are out the bag. but it was. Let's just go quickly to the coaching structures there. Jonathan van der Walt has had a pretty good job this year with False Bay, so to speak. I know that you guys have kind of pre-announced the league winners. In my book, you don't announce the league winners until the night of the awards, but so let it be. You can't stop anybody from grabbing the title if they're so far ahead, if you want to call it that. But Jonathan van der Walt has done a sterling job with False Bay. His captain, or the captain at least of the emerging side, is Ryan Olivier. That combination of captain and coach is a smart move.
Well, I have to compliment the selectors and Jerome, because as an administrator we don't get involved with regard to the dynamics of the team and and obviously with the captaincy. So it most probably does help with regard to communication. You already the captain understand the mindset of the coach, and the coach has trust in the captain, because they do have a relationship, and it makes it easier on him to get his word and message and strategy across to the players on the field. So yes, definitely from that perspective, from a communication perspective, it's a good move. Jono, there's no doubt about it that the fact that False Bay won, or let me just say secured the league. Let's not say won the league, because we'll do that at the trophy presentation. But the fact that they secured the lead speaks volumes about his abilities to coach, and the fact that they beat Marty's. They didn't. False Bay didn't go out there and hope other teams do the job for them. They beat most of the teams. And I think there was one draw, if I'm not mistaken. Could be, but and that speaks wonders. It says a lot about the confidence within their team and the coaching setup. I also know that Jono, he coached at Collegians while he was playing at Villages. So that speaks about his integrity. He understands the game. He understands rugby in the Western Cape. So the appointment of Jono as head coach speaks for itself, and that we as the union has placed a lot of faith and trust in him, and we believe he's one of the good upcoming coaches who could have a career professionally in rugby.
Folks, don't forget to look out and sign up onto the Western Province Club Rugby newsletter on a weekly basis. There's a Danny's Desk that goes out, and you can subscribe to Danny's Desk by going to the Western Province Club Rugby website, www.wpclubrugby.co.za. Subscribe to Danny's Desk, and it's a fantastic catch-up on what's coming up on the weekend, but also very informative news from the union. That's on a weekly basis going out to just I think close on in excess of 20,000 subscribers on Danny's desk now. Nice, some great. Anyway, we're going to get into that a little bit later. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we'll take a look at Super League A, B, and C, the results from the weekend. As we know, there are still a couple of clubs that are in a little bit of trouble that need to be hanging on to the bottom 3 spots, or at least staying out of the bottom 3 spots. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back, folks. Cable Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cable Rugby TV, and that's where you can share your photographs and your posters and so forth. And that's, of course, where we take your poster and your photograph. And if it's hopefully done in the right way, remember, must have a little bit of a logo there, the Cable Rugby TV logo, to show your reciprocity. Then we put it on, and you can get publicity for your club and hopefully get yourself a sponsor in the future, because, or even for the whichever event your poster is, and get yourself some cash for your event. Scorers, of course, come on board with the Western Province Rugby Sevens. Now, if you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, now I'm not going to open this right now because I've been warned that if I drink this during any TV show, then JP, who talks so much, is going to talk even more. And so I don't generally drink my Score during the show. I normally drink mine pre-training. But if you win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, then just grab your cell phone, and you need to go to the keyword SCORE to 33280. Just SMS the keyword SCORE to 33280, and you can put yourself in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks. Congratulations to last week's winner, Terence Klaaser. Terence walks away with a case of Score energy drinks. Terence, the guys from Cable Rugby TV will be in touch with you shortly, and you get yourself a case of Score energy drinks. All that to keep you energized and boosted for your average working day. All right, folks, Super League A results then first. Let's take a quick look at Super League A results that were played over the weekend. Silurians, well, it was a win for them over UWC 26-21, and then Kailsriver lost to Vix 62 points to 22. Right, okay, folks, so that was an interesting result because Silurians desperately needed to get that win. If we're not going to look at the logs right now, we'll look at that a little bit later there, but Mr. Jones, Silurians is sitting on 11 points on the log, Kailsriver is on 11 points, Primrose is on 14, and NNK is on 14 as well. That's our bottom 4 in Super League A. All 4 of those teams, now Silurians played 14 games, Kailsriver 12, but all 4 of those teams it's neck and neck between who's the bottom 3. And then it's the bottom 3, it's goodbyes. Good night, mister.
The bottom 2 is definitely good night, mister. The bottom third has a once-off opportunity to remain at the top, but they need to go into a playoff with team 3. And then obviously the winner there would be the 3rd team in Super League A.
So Silurians will then, of course, be very happy with the fact that they pulled off a win against UWC, which for me is quite surprising because Silurians haven't had a great track record in the last couple of weeks. They've taken a couple of hard knocks.
They have, JP, and I'm very proud that they could beat UWC. I do know there's been a leadership change, and I think that that result reflects the fact that there has been improvement, on the administrative side of things, and well done to them for that great win. Even though it's the last league game of the season, at least they ended on a positive note, and they can take that into 2017.
Well, Silurians are now done. They've played their 14 games, so we know that they've got 11 points on the log. It looks to me that it's now between NNK, Primrose and Kailsriver to see who's going to be the other 2 in the 3.
It's going to be tough. It depends who's playing who, and I think of the 3, Kailsriver has the tougher opposition. And so they could be the 2nd team.
Yeah, Kailsriver playing against Marties and Durbell next, and I mean Marties, of course, we all know how strong Marties and Durbell. Massive contenders.
Definitely. So I do know that's a challenge, but you never know. If you look at what Silurians did to UWC, then David can beat Goliath. So Kailsriver has it all to do If they can put in 2 strong weekends and get 10 points, and surely they can then get out of that zone.
All right,
and remain in the Super League A.
Well, the question, I got to ask the question, do you want to stay in Super League A? But I suppose everybody wants to be in a higher league, although, I don't know, maybe sometimes one can think about it twice before you take that big jump up into the next league, because when you take that big jump up, you better know that it's 10 kilos heavier and 5 meters faster, and it's going to take a lot more cash to survive up there. Super League B results. Let's take a look at what happened there. A few more results than in Super League A. Penil Villages beating Helderberg 54-17. Belleville going down to St. George's 22-15. Macassar lost to Kraaifontein 31-27. And then Hands and Hearts beating Young Peoples 29-23. Goodwood beat Strand 39-27. And Collegians with a 1-point loss against Union Mill. While Villages, of course, went down to Violets, or at least beat Violets 31-25. All right, so let's look at the bottom 5 in Super League B. Macassar played 13 games on 25 points. Kraaifontein played 13 games on 25 points. Young Peoples played 13 games on 22 points. Goodwood played 13 games, they're on 14 points. And Strand has played 13 games and on 12 points. So essentially the bottom 2, Mr. Jones, Strand, Goodwood, there's not going to be any change there, it doesn't look like. And the third place playoff then is going to be between Macassar, Kraaifontein and Young Peoples. Big. I know Kraaifontein is playing against Hands and Hearts this weekend, and Hands and Hearts just beat Young Peoples. So Kraaifontein is going to have their work cut out for them, but that's a big derby game.
That's a derby game, JP, and I'm looking forward to that game because there's lots of rivalry. And you know, in a derby, anybody can win, whoever rocks up on the day. So yes, it's going to be a good game. It's a must-win for Kraaifontein, because if they don't win and Peoples win, you know, then and Macassar win, then they will have to go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So yes, it's interesting. That's the great thing about our league. It's not over until it's over.
Yeah. So it's not just I mean, it's a derby match, but it's also a critical game for both sides to go up or down. I'm not quite sure where Hands and Hearts are on the log for going up, but Kraaifontein are definitely in trouble and are going to be looking for that win. I'm almost thinking that might be the game of the weekend for us to go and attend, but we'll see closer to the time. Let's take a look now at Super League C. In Super League C, the results there, it was Franschhoek United with a 24-19 win over Strand United. Paarl with a massive win over Blue Jets, 66 points to 3. Wraithby, they went down to Young Stars 34-30, and then Masiphumelele, they beat Hamadias by just 1 point, 12 points to 11. All right, so let's break it down then. The bottom 5 in Super League C. Hamadias, 23 points, 13 games. Laguna, 22 points, 13 games. Blue Jets, 14 points, 13 games. Masiphumelele, 12 points, 13 games. And then Silverleaf, 8 points and 13 games. So then that puts us in the bottom 5. Danny, Hamadias and Laguna have got a bit of a lead there in terms of points difference. Blue Jets, Masi and Silverleaf. Those are the 3 that have to try and get a couple of points. They've got 1 more game left. They can't make it. 2 of those teams are going to be going down. Out of those 3, all they want to do now is make sure they don't. Well, do they then get relegated into one of the City, Northern and Southern leagues, or how does it work?
Well, 3 of them go down.
3 go down.
And 3 come up.
Okay, of course there's no playoffs in here. 3 definitely go down, which is going to bring us next to the Promotions League, where we're looking at the moment between those 9 teams that are playing in the Promotions League.
That's right.
And then 3 will go up there. All right, so let's take a quick look there at the Promotions League, because these 3 of these teams are definitely going to be taking the place of Blue Jets, Masiphumelele and Silverleaf. I think that's the coolest Derek Kerk. They can't climb up any higher. But there again, you can't say it until it's all over, because you don't know what can still come out the woodwork. And the reason we mentioned earlier, or at least that I said earlier on, you can't announce something until it's over and done with, is because you never know what last-minute disputes might come in. There could be some sort of arbitration. I don't know. Danny, have you ever seen that happen where, I mean, didn't we see it not so long ago between Villages and Silurians the year before last, where we thought there was a winner and then there wasn't a winner, and then some points, and then there was a dispute afterwards. Anything can come out the woodwork still. I'm not saying that there's any team that's done and dusted, but it's in the world of sport. I mean, look at America. The United States, they ran the 400-meter relay. They came third. They were third on the scorecard, and then they were disqualified because they had a small run over. Anything can happen.
No, JP, the bulk of it is sorted out. And whilst we have a dispute mechanism, if clubs do feel that they have been done in or been prejudiced, but I'm quite certain that we've covered most of the bases, and that what you see there is what you get.
Okay. So no disputes, everything's in the clear. That's good to know. I suppose that's what all we wanted to know. But now it does look like then it's a fact. Blue Jets is going down, Massey's going down, Silverleaf is going down. Let's take a look at the teams in the Promotions League results over the weekend then, and see which what happened there, because 3 of these teams is what's going to go up. All Saints beating Busy Bees 28-25. Eerste-Rivier 34-37 loss for them against Stelkor, and then Silvertree went down to Vineyards 34 points to 18. So 3 teams playing there in the Promotions League, looking for promotion, and of course will be going up to Super League C. Let's take a look now at the second round competition results played on Saturday. This is of course the results in what we call sort of the bottom 8, if you want to look at it that way, from the City Southern and Northern leagues. And this is the second round competition. In the City League then, Perseverance going down to Young Ideas 38 points to 6. Police beating Western Zebras 13-0. Temperance and Cities beating Progress 11-5. Atlantis beat Delft 20 points to 3. In the Northern League, Blake's Imikawi was a win for Imikawi, and Thistles, well, they just went down to Young Brothers by 2 points. And then Noordlikers beat Peninsula 40 points to 0. Danny, I've been meaning to ask you, there's some interesting things in the world of club rugby here. Police is a team that's just now come back into the union. I think that they're now in their 3rd year. They seem to be coming to grips with playing rugby again. It's a good thing for club rugby. I think in the 1st year, did you have them on a probation? Or?
Yes. Normally when a new club joins us, the 1st year is a probation year. Obviously to see if they can sustain and maintain their rugby program, the players, etc. After that, if everything is fine, they then become a full-fledged affiliate. Police struggled a bit in the 1st year, but I do think they got everything starts with good administration, and they started to get their administration right. There's also, I believe, a number of policemen who, with other clubs, that joined up again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going for them, and I'm glad that the club is starting to reap the rewards.
Yeah, from what I understand, they're making quite a lot of effort
there
as a club to get some sponsors in, and they're getting their gym sorted out, and I mean they've got a pretty good facility.
They do, and hopefully next year they'll do far better. So I'm hoping that they go into the championship component.
Is there any chance that we'll see any of the other call it emergency forces like the Defence Force or the Navy, Air Force? Start club rugby?
I think it would be good if we do, because it at least give those organizations and the people working for those organizations an opportunity to play rugby, also to get fit, fitter people, healthier organizations, and it also leads to good social cohesion.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the Defence Force comes back into our leagues. I do know there is a Defence Force league that has a once-off competition annually, but I'm hoping that in previous years we used to have Defence Force or Defence playing as a club, and maybe there's an opportunity, because it's also good to have to grow the game in those organizations.
Yeah, the more activity, the better. Folks, we're going to take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll be taking a look at the Best Med feature. This week we're featuring Johnny Kotzer. We'll also catch up with Munib Levy, and we'll take a look at some of your social media activity that came in over the weekend. Welcome back, everybody. The Best Med School of Excellence is, of course, one of the components of the Western Province rugby setup, and that, of course, forms part of the Academy Week and the Craven Weeks, the under-13s, the under-16s, the under-18s, and a lot of activity there for schools, and a real benefit for the kids that are coming through the ranks and have an opportunity to then go train at the High Performance Centre with all the expertise involved around the professional setup. So the kids have an opportunity to tap into a rugby management structure at Western Province Rugby, which is quite incredible. We managed to catch up with Johnny Kotzer, one of the Currie Cup players who came through the ranks of Western Province Rugby.
The following Western Province Rugby School of Excellence insert is brought to you by Best Med. Be active, be safe, be happy, be Nutri-Wise, be fit.
I actually started back home in in Joburg, in a small town called Brakpan, and then I got a bursary at Bishops. Was lucky enough to get it. Went to Bishops in grade 10, and then from there I got into the School of Excellence at the end of grade 10, or grade 11, and then through to grade 12, and then made the Western Province Academy side. There was a small article in the report, and then my dad saw it. He was like, let's just take a chance, maybe, you never know. And then he took it, he gave in my CV and all that, and then a few months later they called us, said, do we want to come look at the school? I'm quite a good candidate for the bursary. And yeah, and then it all took place. Normally it was me, myself, Tim Swiel and Tepo Matale. And yeah, we always used to go together because Tim's mom always gave us a lift to the HPC and back, and yeah, great fun memories, yeah. Well, I think one of the senior players was like Morgan Newman, that kind of players, because he was because I obviously knew him because he was from Bishop. Well, you'll experience all the doctors, physios, great facility, managers and all that, and obviously nutrition, evocs coming in there, giving the kids some nutrition. One of the aspects that the School of Excellence focus on is obviously safety, because they bring in all the qualified people in just to teach everyone how to do the right basic, like gym movements, running wise, just to help them get a great stepping stone to go further in life. If you're in the School of Excellence, and sometimes players don't make it to go into the Craven Week or the academy side, and I think some of the aspects that the players out there just need to know is that it's never over. So they shouldn't stop working if they didn't make it or whatever. They shouldn't stop working, just go on and live their dream.
The following Western Province Rugby School of Excellence insert is brought to you by Best Med. Be active, be safe, be happy, be Nutri-Wise, be fit.
Johnny Kotzer there talking to us about his experiences in the world of rugby. Danny, the Best Med School of Excellence is a great, call it finishing product. If one wants to look at it like that, it's almost like finishing school. You come through the ranks and you get into this. I mean, it must absolutely blow the kids' minds away when they arrive at the High Performance Centre and they've got a physio and a coach and a doctor and a conditioning coach and a nutritionist and everyone looking after them.
Look, it forms part of our high performance program, and that the players who's played at school level have been identified. Then they go to Wilfred. Wilfred manages that project for us. Him and obviously with the assistance of Jerome. And you're right. The idea is to build a relationship with the player, expose him to the high performance, to what the Stormer players and the Currie Cup players and the under-21s and the 19s go through, and seeing where they are training, getting their programs, engaging with the strength and conditioning coaches, physios, doctors. It's part of our way of getting the kids to focus on the start of making rugby a career, and showing off with the facilities, and then hopefully that the kids will take the game more seriously, and in the end they will then represent Western Province at a higher level and the Stormers. So that's a rough idea with the School of Excellence, and obviously specialist coaching from Wilfred, Jerome, and obviously Stefan the toy around strength and conditioning.
Do you think it's time for administrators, high performance center? Is that something that I'm just bringing up now? I mean, sports administrators, the job that you do, I mean, the administration of sport, it's and especially at club level. Now that sport, the playing is going up, the coaching is going up. You know, surely the administration, I'm just thinking of something here, maybe it's completely off topic, but or is it just a question still of teaching administrators how to administrate at an amateur level?
Look, there's no doubt about it that there's what is called lifelong learning, and so you never know enough. You can always learn from another person to improve yourself, and in that way you then improve your family and you improve your organization that you're in. So I do buy the idea that maybe the time has come for us to look at refresher courses again for administrators. Look, we do have the club-wise program. We do have a program for administrators where we look at exposing them to various forms of the DCs and also members of executive committees, portfolios, and those things. And in that way, it's our way of investing in administrators so that they could manage their clubs better.
Yeah.
Part of that is obviously, in a subtle way, the Scrum program is actually addressing the issue of better administration.
Better administration, because you really have to stay on top of your logs and your results and your fixtures and your planning for the game day. But I keep thinking that from an administration point of view, the two most important, well, certainly in my world, the two most important things that an administrator should be looking for is good communication and sponsorship. Maybe the sponsorship is a slightly different angle because you're looking at marketing and that, but you've got to think out of the box. Am I going to get money for my club? Can I do my books and so forth? But communication, even the Scrum system is a communication tool.
Absolutely. No, JP, you're right. Communication is an important facet and tool in life. And so it does help with rugby. If you find that your more successful clubs, they have a great communication tool in the club or infrastructure.
Yeah.
Where it's because you're right, it's getting the players to practices, informing them what's happening, get them to the games, informing not just the player but his family, so that the player has support from the home situation, and it makes it easier for him when
but
he
also
goes to
important
practice
that
and things like that.
All that information that you send out, I know you send a lot of it out on the Danny's desk. You talk about matters of the union and administrative information, and you remind people that they must do certain, or you remind certain clubs and players and so forth that they have to do certain activities. But if you're managing a club, you're accountable to your mother body, which is your federation. In other words, in your case, it's the union. It's important that if you're a club administrator that the information that comes from the union, you must be passing it on to your coaches, to your management team. If a club, you would have an executive structure as well. You'd be passing all that information on. You wouldn't, which means your communication system has to be up to scratch.
Definitely, because we work from the cascade model. We cascade from the exco into our operations. The operations cascade that into the clubs, and it shouldn't sit with the secretary or the match and registration secretary or the delegate. It's their responsibility to see that they inform their club officials and the players.
Yeah.
So that's the principle on which we work from.
Yeah.
And that's why we have focused on Scrum, because Scrum, as you said, is a tool that gives the clubs a communication platform to engage its players through SMS, through emails, so that they can inform them what's happening in the union, in the clubs, etc.
Yeah. Folks, talking about what's happening in the clubs, I know that Western Province have got their board members out on a regular basis at a club field. And on Saturday we managed to catch up with Munib Levy, who's of course the transformation officer at the union. Munib, we've spoken to him of course many times on the show before, and everybody knows him fondly on Cape Rugby TV, as they do in the club structures, steeped in the world of club rugby and the community. Let's catch up with Munib Levy. Munib, you're a board member at Western Province Rugby. Nice to see you on the side of the field.
Yeah, I think that's why we're here. We're here to serve the game. We're here to serve the club and the people who ensure that Western Province exists.
Club Rugby's had a good year, a strong year. Bit of a break in the middle of the season, but the club seem to be having a good time. Certainly in the leagues, everybody's getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah, especially in this league, with the promotions coming along now, I think it adds an extra dimension for the clubs to play for, and you can see it on the field. There's lots of excitement and enjoyment because people want to be promoted and test themselves against teams in the higher league. So I think it's all around, it's good for rugby.
From a community perspective, of course, it's not just happening between the four white lines. Moms and dads and aunts and uncles are all coming out in their droves now to catch Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock club rugby.
Yeah, you see, especially in the communities, rugby takes them away from the other socials of life.
Yeah.
And they just come here and enjoy themselves and watch the kids or the grandkids play, and that's encouragement for the players as well. So everyone has a part to play in growing the game of rugby.
Just on a final note, we were at Newlands last night. I'm not going where you're thinking. The emerging side was announced last night. They got their jackets, or at least the amateur side. They got their jackets and their tog bags and that. These are all guys that have come through the ranks. They've all from clubs that we know and play and have been on TV before. It looks like they're ready for action, and it looks like you might have a good outfit there.
Yeah, firstly, congratulations to all the players and to all the clubs who has developed those players to ensure that they can represent Western Province, and that's a stepping stone for those players as well to gain higher honours, and just to show if they put in the hard yards, there is reward for them.
Yeah, well, we're thrilled to see it, because over the last few years, so many of those guys that are there today were either the captain or the man of the match, and they incidentally all happen to be the right guys that we've identified along the way. Monique, we're going to leave it at that. It's fantastic to see that the union is out here on the side of the field, which is where we need you to be if you're going to know what club rugby is about. So good value having you here.
Thanks, JP, and thank you and your staff for coming and giving the airtime to the clubs. They really enjoy it, and it's good for them to attract sponsorships as well.
100%, that's what it's about. Thanks, Monique. Cape Rugby TV. With me on the show, of course, this evening is Danny Jones, the head of amateur rugby at Western Province Rugby, and always good to get information straight out of the horse's mouth, so to speak. Danny, don't worry, it's not a direct.
Rather a horse than a donkey, Jake.
Rather a horse than a donkey. Well, but you know, they talk about committees. Committees is they talk about a donkey. A donkey is a horse that was made by a committee. Anyway, those are committee structures which we all serve on so gladly. But folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the ad break, we have got, slips my mind now what we've got. Social media coming up a little bit later. A lot of your photographs coming up. And, of course, our Hisense winner was announced last week. So some enjoyable footage just for the entertainment's sake. Back in a sec. Welcome back to the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Cape Rugby TV, every earphone coming out there. Every Wednesday, 9 o'clock, from 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock when we talk club rugby. All right, as you know, Hisense came on board as the official technical partner to Cape Rugby TV about a year ago or so, and during the course of the year, we gave away Hisense Infinity Pulse cell phones to a number of winners, and those number of winners went into a draw to win a 55-inch smart TV. Romero was our winner last week, and he came to the Cape Rugby TV studios to come and fetch his 55-inch Hisense smart TV. He said that he already had a place marked out on his wall for it to go. We managed to interview him just to show you that there is really a Hisense 55-inch smart TV winner. Right, folks, it's time for us now to give away the Hisense Infinity Pulse. Not the cell phone, but the Hisense Smart TV. With me is Romero. Romero was, of course, the winner. Romero, congratulations. You are the winner, finally, of the 55-inch Smart TV. How do you feel?
What can I say? Really excited. And I just want to say thank you to Cape Rugby TV and you as well for this wonderful prize. And that's all I can say.
You were, of course, the winner of the Hisense Infinity Pulse, the cell phone.
Yes.
How's that phone working for you?
It's working quite nicely. I think the phone is more for her because it's got about 12 weeks on there and she uses it to play games.
Oh,
so,
fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so now you, of course, know that that phone can interact with this TV. Now, this is the 55-inch, and I know people can't see it all there. It's a 55-inch smart TV. It's got Netflix, it's got YouTube on it, all sorts of gadgets, and it's got Wi-Fi capability. Have you worked out yet where it's going to go in the house?
I already made a spot. Took my tape measure.
Yeah.
Because I worked out 55 times 2.54, 139 centimeters, and I already made a spot just in time for the Rugby Champions.
Fantastic stuff. So you're going to be watching lots of big screen rugby on the
Yes.
TV, right? I'm going to see if I can just lift it up a little bit. But there you go, folks. The Hisense Infinity Pulse cell phone. I keep calling it the Infinity Pulse cell phone, but it's the 55-inch smart TV, courtesy of Hisense. So Romero, we're going to leave it at that. Congratulations. I'm not going to shake hands with you because you've got the lovely young lady there. But yeah, enjoy it. And I'm sure the folks from Hisense are looking forward to you having a lekker viewing experience.
Just again, thank you very much, Cape Rugby TV and JP, and of course Hisense. Thank you very much, guys.
Romero Marwood walks away with a Hisense 55-inch smart TV. Danny, nice to see that it went to a true by heart club rugby fan, because I've seen Romero at the park at Tigerberg many times.
No, that's true. I just don't like the Manchester United top he's wearing. But be that as it be.
Yes, you'd prefer him to wearing a Tottenham top, right?
No,
Leeds.
not. Leeds.
Yeah, here we go. I knew it was in there somewhere. All right, folks, but we don't talk about football on the show. We talk about the oblong ball. But yeah, congratulations and big thanks to Hisense for contributing to Cape Rugby TV. And we know that Hisense has also not only got involved with Cape Rugby TV, has also donated 250 rugby balls to the union, and during the course of the next few weeks we're going to showcase where those balls are going. But over the weekend and in the last couple of days there were some fantastic photographs sent in from you on social media, and we grabbed some of them just to showcase a little bit of the other activity. Our first photograph came in from Emil Krotz. Now, Emil took this picture in the match Strand United against Franschhoek. Franschhoek United beat Strand United 24-19. And then Emil also shared another photograph, Franschhoek United, in a second picture there. Hamadias shared this photograph in their match. Masi Pumulele, of course, took on Hamadias. It was a 1-point win there for Masi Pumulele. Thanks to Hamadias for sharing that picture. And then Grant Albertine posted a fantastic high jump picture in the match Kuilsriver against Vix. It was a big win for Vix, who won there 62 points to 0. Yeah, so some great pictures that have come in there. Folks, please share your photographs on social media. We look forward to sharing them with the fans out there. Very important that we post those pictures. Let's quickly look at the fixtures then. Coming up over the weekend, it's Hamilton's up against UCT, and Durban against Kuilsriver. It's Primrose against Stellenbosch, UWC against SK Warmers, and Vix up against NNK. In Super League B, we see Belleville and Villages, Goodwood and Helderberg, Kraaifontein and Hans Naarts, Strand and Young Peoples, Collegians and Peniel Villages, Violets and St. George's, Union will take on Macassar. In Super League C on Saturday at 4 o'clock, it's Hamadias and Blue Jets, Young Stars and Silverleaf, Lagunya and Strand United, Wraithby and Scottsdene, Masipumulele and Franschhoek United against, and then Rangers and Paarl and Langa and Kylemore. And then, of course, in the Promotion League, it's Vineyards and Busy Bees, Retreat and Young Wesies, All Saints and Eersterivier, and Stelkor and Silverleaf. In the City League, we see Tech take on Caledonian Roses, Temperance and Cities take on Police, Progress and Watsonia, Perseverance and Western Zebras. And also at 4 o'clock on Saturday in the Northern League, we'll see Whistling Wheels. They're up against Strand Pioneers, Thunderstel and Atlantis, Imikawi and Blue Stars, and Blakes and Delft. In the Southern League, we'll see Titans and Thistles, Noordlikers and Bishop Lavers, and Rocklands take on Peninsula. While in the Paarl League, Windmill United up against Young Gardens, Violets Paarl against Riverstone, Simondium take on Young Standards, Lower Paarl and Paarl Rangers, and Allendale up against Peril United. Mr. Jones, before we go, a quick question over the course of the last few days. You had some big school rugby. The South African under-19s playing.
Yes, JP, we had the under-19 series, South African schools A team, and then we had 4 European nations here: Wales, France, Italy, and England. And we played at City Park last Friday, the 12th of August. Then Tuesday we played at Bishops, and on Saturday culminated at Paul Boys. And I can proudly say that the SA schools team remained unbeaten, and of the 26-man squad, 13 came from Western Province, Cravenwick team.
So 50% of the South African team came from Western Province.
Yeah.
And if I am not mistaken, I believe the captain also came from Western Province.
Yes. Salman Murat captained the team and captained very well. And you know Salman comes from Paul, and the Murats are Vineyards.
Yeah.
And that's why, and you can see Vineyards is lying on top in the championship. But there's a pedigree. His father, Nazim, represented Poland in the old Saru days, and also represented South Africa.
It looks like the pedigree is there as well, because pedigree is all about coming through the ranks. And it looks like the kids are coming through the ranks. I mean, it looks like the province system is working, which is what's so nice about the School of Excellence, is that you've got the under-13s and under-16s and under-19s. The entire system is taken care of.
Yes, we're blessed, JP. It's just not, we in Western Province reap the benefit of a very good youth system, school system, and youth club system. A lot of hard work has gone into those players, from the coaches at the schools and the clubs, and obviously from a talent ID point of view, we then reap the benefits, put them into, and obviously tweak them, improve upon that. So yeah, we're blessed with the amount of rugby that has been played both at school level and at club level, and that's why I say it without any twinkling of an eye, that Western Province has the top school and club rugby system
in the country.
If
there
not
we go.
in the Southern Hemisphere.
If not in the world.
If not in the world.
Well, we'll have to be in the world. Right, Danny, thank you very much for joining us on Cape Rugby. Nice to have you here. We hope to see you again soon. And we'll see you on the field on Saturday.
Definitely, JP. I want to wish my good wishes to all of the players out there and the teams. Remember, it's not over until it's over. And remember, from Western Province side, respect the ref, respect the opposition, respect yourself, and let rugby be the winner.
Fantastic stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap from Cape Rugby TV. We'll see you on the weekend. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.